Welcome to another episode of the brand called You, a podcast and podcast show that brings you leadership lessons, knowledge, experience, and wisdom from thousands of successful individuals from around the world. I'm your host, Ashutosh Garg, and today I'm delighted to welcome a very senior, accomplished, and respected medical doctor with a deep understanding of AI from New York, USA, Dr. Shahnoz Rustamova. Shahnoz, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you.
Shahnoz is the founder of the Central Park Medical, which is focused on power of health and wellness. She's the founder of the nonprofit You Are the Angel. She's a global expert in the fusion of modern and holistic longevity medicine. So, Shahnoz, before we get into any more details, I'd love to know a little bit about your own journey. What first inspired you to move beyond conventional Western medicine and integrate holistic approaches into women's healthcare?
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me, first of all. And yes, a little bit of about myself, how I end up being this way is I was trained in two medical schools, two residencies to be straightforward surgeon, stay in your lane, save lives, take care of problem
Mm-hmm.
type of person. But then, life happens. First of all, my personal problems, my personal health problem started to arise in my early 30s and then mid 30s. And also realizing that once I finished this saving lives and went into my private practice, I realized that how backwards our approach is. And I'm still a surgeon. I still teach and I still love doing surgeries and saving lives.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea is not to get to that point. So this is what I realized. And I realized that when I had my personal problems, when I developed a condition called idiopathic angioedema. Angioedema is when you swell up completely, the whole body swells up. It's so bad, including your throat. It's very life-threatening. And idiopathic means doctors go, we have no idea what's causing it.
Yes.
And being in New York, surrounded by all these stellar doctors, working myself, I was in Cornell University at the time, like doing my trainings. I couldn't find the answer. My answer was to be on medication only. And at the age of 37, because of the prolonged medication journey, I end up in a wheelchair. I end up with the heart problems, with the cardiac arrhythmias and osteoporosis, and you name it. So you name it, because I was overweight, 200 pounds overweight, and I was only 37, 38. The doctor said, now you have to have knee replacement. And this is what my journey started. I started looking for other alternatives. And I was very lucky when one of the doctors was doing the research. And I was lucky because I was in New York, surrounded by all this academia. And he said, you want to be my guinea pig? I said, yes. So the guinea pig was, the role of the guinea pig was to take, instead of doing knee replacement, to take my stem cells from my bone and then rebuild my own cells and my own bone. And it was success. And this is when I realized, and as I was pinned and bedridden, it's almost like universe said, okay, you had enough of education. Now you have to sit down and think. So I was completely out of the work and I was in bed, and all I had, my computer and my laptop, and just research, read books. And this is when I got introduced to Tibetan medicine first, then Ayurvedic medicine, then Chinese medicine, then and as I was healing, the moment I healed, the moment I started walking, I went and traveled. I traveled to study this ancient tradition and see what is it that they have that we don't have, but we lost. And what I realized is we actually doing the same thing, if you believe it or not. We talking about the same thing. It's just in a different language and looking from a different angle.
Yeah.
Exactly. Instead of looking holistically at the whole picture, Western medicine looking from the prove me, which is right, and then Eastern medicine or ancient medicine looking from believe me, our ancestor did that, it worked, This is what it's written. We're just following it. So, and this is where I started learning how to fuse it together, and I became my own guinea pig. And, you know, after being in wheelchair, in 2 years after being in wheelchair, I went to Mount Kailash. I did all these physical activities that were basically out of question, that I couldn't do it.
How amazing.
Yes. And that's how I healed myself. And this is when I realized, there's something else going on.
Amazing. And, you know, I completely agree. The amount of knowledge available between Ayurveda, Tibetan medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, and what we understand as modern medicine, there is a whole lot of similarities. But tell me, what does fusion of modern and holistic longevity medicine truly mean in clinical practice today?
In clinical practice, as a doctor, this is how I integrated this many years ago, almost 20 years ago. So if you really look at yourself, you consist of physical body, you have emotional body, and then you have spiritual body, some kind of spiritual ethereal body. Whether you believe in that or not, it's just like gravity, it's there.
Yeah.
So you have this triangle of these three systems working together. So in the Western medicine, we were looking at the physical body. In ancient medicine, we look at all of it all together. So taking this all together point of view and taking the progress that we had, so much progress in modern medicine, and apply them together. And now you have a very powerful tool. You have the knowledge of modern medicine, evidence-based medicine, with the studies and everything else. And you also have a knowledge of ancient medicine, the thousands of years that actually looking at the whole ecosystem. And that's what fusion is to me.
Amazing. And, you know, just before we started the recording, you were telling me about your passion for AI. Now, between traditional medicine, between modern medicine, and modern technology, which is artificial intelligence, how are you integrating all this, and what is your understanding of how AI will now be able to impact the areas that you work in?
Amazing. AI is my passion. And I know a lot of people are scared of AI, but AI is the tool. And the way you train it, it could do anything for you.
Absolutely.
And the error, if you really train it well, it's actually, you don't have that factor called human error, human fatigue. So in that case, AI is always going to be there for you. And I will give you a little example.
Yeah.
My AI, my Rustamova AI, which is basically they train AI to be like me, talk like me. She speaks 77 languages and she thinks like me. I teach at Mount Sinai Hospital, and that was Friday, we had very critical patient, very, very critical patient. And me being an attending in charge, I don't have time. I just come and I talk to a resident and I told her this, and this, you do this, and this. And I taught her, but because I speak fast, it's a surgical field. Those who've been in surgical field, we don't have time. We have to go. I just said it and they just left. And she was embarrassed to ask again. But what she did, she opened my AI and she asked the question, and AI with my voice exactly told her how this patient needs to be managed.
How amazing.
So imagine how much time and energy me as a teacher, I save. Sometimes we humans, sometimes I can scream. Well, I don't scream, but sometimes you really inside of you, you're like, don't you get it? AI doesn't have that. So AI patiently explained it to her. And the next thing you know, I come to the nursing station, a bunch of residents go, we need your AI. Can we download that? Because now they see the tool. And now it's less burnout for senior doctors who are teaching them. You see? So that's one way of doing it. The second way of doing it, for example, my AI also has a phone. You're a patient. You went to see a cardiologist and you spoke to them, and cardiologist says, well, you need to have a stent, and you're scared. And the cardiologist didn't have that much time to talk to you. They explain everything, and now they have to move on to another patient.
Yeah.
You go home and you're thinking, and you Google, and you go to ChatGPT, and you're doing all the research, but you just want to talk to someone.
Correct.
And you pick up the phone and you tell your AI,
Yeah.
Rustamova AI, this is what I'm having. And this is what my doctor says. And she tells you why is being this way.
Absolutely.
She will explain to you one by one. And then you can tell her that I'm scared. What are the risks? And then she starts talking to you and explaining so you feel better. It's not just like, giving you just data. It's actually interacting with you like a doctor and giving you not just knowledge, but warmth and peace of mind. So you would go and have this procedure done. Now you know.
Very interesting. But then tell me, for Rustamova AI, if you are not present and a patient is asking a question, and if for any reason an AI does have the habit of hallucinating quite often, what happens if the answer that you get from a medical perspective is not what Shahnoz would have done in actual as an individual? How would you tackle a challenge like that?
Of course. There's a possibility, but that's why you want to make sure that you don't trust any AI.
Correct.
That's why you want to make sure, you trust to closed systems instead of using open systems. That's why you use AI that has the lowest hallucination rate. And the company that I work with, Marga AI, they have one of the lowest hallucination rates. And security it's built by people who built cybersecurity in Israel. So it's one of the best in the world. So that's why you really have to be careful with information that you get from AI.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Great response. Moving on, let's talk a little bit about DNA testing. How does DNA testing change the way you design a health plan for a patient? And can you share an example of how genetic insights transformed a patient's health trajectory?
Yes. That's my other passion. I have so many passions, but this is also very, very, very crucial in my practice. Again, everything comes in triangles, just like your physical body, emotional body, spiritual body. If I heal you, I need to look at your body same way. Your body also has a triangle. You consist of 3 ecosystems in your body that carries information, data. Okay? 3 systems. And these 3 systems, imagine if you have 3 databases that constantly communicating with each other and creating something. In your body, in my body, we have DNA that has information that come from your father and your mother.
Correct.
That's one information. The second source of information from DNA of your microbiome that lives in your system, your microbes. That's another source of, genetic material, genetic information that affects that. And the third one is mitochondria that has DNA, its own DNA. And by the way, it's taken only from your mother. That's another fascinating thing about that. Okay. So you have this ecosystem interacting with each other. That's why you need to know who is what. You need to know what's your microbiome, what kind of microbiome you have, and what kind of information it's spewing out. It's almost like a social media. That's how I see microbiome. It creates either noise or harmony.
Yeah.
DNA is your command system. It's the book that's written, and it's unique. There is nobody in the universe has the same DNA as you are. Not your brothers, even if you're twins. That's how unique and beautiful you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then looking by that, you can make a very good decisions. So one example, for example, in DNA, when I look at DNA, I look at your detoxification capacities, detoxification pathways. And for example, patients come to me, it's a real example, and he had a consultation with his cardiologist, and cardiologist said, you have a high cholesterol and your father died from heart attack at the age of 60 and you're 57. You need to be on cholesterol decreasing drugs. You have to be on statins. Okay. But then he Googles and he reads that statins are bad for you. Then he reads statins need to be there because they prolong life. Then he reads something else. So he is coming to me and say, I need answers.
Yeah.
We checked his DNA. And this is how your cardiovascular diseases develop, or the risk, I should say, genetic risk. So the first one, yes, the person can get a heart attack and cardiac arrest or whatever it is, thromboembolic events from cholesterol. Yes, you can create cholesterol plaque, and as a result, you have heart attack. The second is if someone is prone to have blood clots. So that person creates blood clots the same way, plugs the vessels, blood flow, heart attack. And the third one is inflammation. Inflammation of endothelial cells. Okay. And when you have endothelial cells inflammation, then you collect cholesterol on that. Then cholesterol is not helping you. But the idea is inflammation.
Yeah.
3 major factors.
Absolutely.
3 major pathways. And then also we have a gene that I could tell, are you a good metabolizer of statins or you a poor metabolizer of statins?
Yeah.
That's why when we take drugs, some people develop side effects, some people don't, because of these DNA pathways.
Yeah.
So in that case, in his case, his risk for heart attack was inflammation. And he was a poor metabolizer of statins, meaning that if he would go on statins, in his case, he would not decrease the risk of heart attack. In fact, it's actually going to make it worse.
Yeah.
Because he's a poor metabolizer. Poor metabolizer meaning that it creates more inflammation. You
Very
see?
interesting.
So that's why it makes it very unique, not cookie cutter.
Correct. Shahnoz, you're also, a great believer, or you have a lot of deep understanding of health span optimization. And when I was reading about you and preparing, I was fascinated that you've got 3 important pillars of health span optimization. At what age should someone start thinking about longevity medicine? And also tell me about the 3 pillars, of course.
Yes. Well, the great saying was, I don't remember who said that, but your death starts approaching you the moment you take a first breath.
Correct.
So that means the moment you were born,
you start to die.
You start to die, even on the physical level, because now you have cell turnover. Okay.
Yes.
So you produce new cells, but you kill, you have apoptosis, that you kill old cells. And that's what we call life. And when your cell production is healthy and your self-destruction is at a minimum, this is what we call youth. This is what we call health span. You see, when that balance starts shifting, this is what we call aging.
Yeah.
And to answer your question, at what age, it could be at any age. It could be at any age, even for babies. It's important. But okay, if you're in your 50s, it's not too late.
Yeah.
If you're in your 20s, you're still good. But I think that's my philosophy. Started from the very beginning, even in embryo. Yeah.
Very interesting. Very interesting. You also talk about something called bioidentical hormones. How do these contribute to healthy aging? And is there any controversy associated with these?
Yes, like anything else in medicine, nothing is 100%. And do we need hormones? In some cases, yes. And I will tell you the truth. Hormone replacement therapy is not my first line of defense, but I'm not against it. They absolutely necessary in certain cases. But before I start the patient on hormone replacement therapy, I need to know, again, your detoxifying pathways. And one example, I had a patient, beautiful. She is athletic. She's beautiful. She's on hormone replacement therapy. Everything is great. She calls me saying her GP told her that she has fatty liver. She eats healthy. She does everything.
Yeah.
Fatty liver. Why is that? So in her case, she is on hormone replacement and she's on pellets. I don't know what pellets, if you know what pellets are. It's a little things that so very convenient way of using hormones, very, very common way of using hormones. After looking at her DNA and looking at the pathways, we realized that she has that genetics that particular route of hormone replacement is not good for her. She's not supposed to be using that pathway because everything goes through her liver, and that creates, that means she doesn't have to be off hormone replacement therapy. She still can continue hormone replacement therapy, but different route. You see, that's how personalized it is. Bioidentical are much better, of course, than synthetic because they're closer to your body. Your body knows how to talk to it. The body knows, and less chances for creating of metabolic, toxic metabolic substances in your body that can create all these controversial but true, in some cases, side effects like cancers and so forth, or fatty livers. But again, there's so many factors that play a role. Yes, your DNA, and then also the route, and then also the type of hormone replacement, and also if your body is depleted in nutrients. So when you come to me, I don't jump on hormone replacement immediately or GLPs or anything. I assess your body for nutrients. You need to have enough nutrients. You need to make sure that you have all the dry powder in your body. Then if you need it, then we can add some other things.
Amazing. Shahnoz, I have time for two more questions. One related to wellness, and then I have one question about your nonprofit. You speak about longevity retreats. What is spiritual aging, and what do these retreats do for us?
It doesn't matter how much of vitamins you take. It doesn't matter how many hours you spend at the gym. It doesn't matter how clean you eat. If you're not connected to this power, and if you're not recognizing that it's flowing through you, you are not complete. You're not complete. So, and that's what is the third pillar. You were asking me what are the pillars. It's a physical, emotional, and spiritual body. And if you sign up with my program, you go through vitamins and DNA testing, all these things on the physical, emotional level. We'll talk through your traumas and so forth. But then you need to complete the circle. And this is when we do the retreats, when for 5 days, you immerse yourself in the environment of the energy of prana, chi, whatever you call it, that you generate yourself. And I use the practices of ancient warriors. I use martial arts. I use Kundalini yoga instead of just regular yoga. I use Tai Chi. I use ninja yoga, all these things to bring, because majority of successful people are the warriors. We warriors of light. We're bringing something good to humanity. So you need to refill yourself, refill your cup. And that's the purpose of retreats. We do it twice a year.
How fascinating. And my last question for you, Shahnoz, you are the founder of the nonprofit You Are the Angel. Tell me a little bit about this nonprofit. What do you do, and what are the scope of work that you handle here?
Okay, so originally the very big origin was to start You Are the Angel is to eliminate poverty in the world, but not the way we just bring food and bring money and bring. No, educate create businesses, help to develop businesses and create self-sustainability, real sustainability. So my projects are usually no more than 5 years. We come, we teach you, we show you, and then we leave.
Right.
For example, we've done, my model was in Haiti, and until COVID hit, of course, it was all good. But then all this political thing happened in Haiti, and we had to withdraw our forces from there. But we went to very remote areas, and first you give them water, 6 human basic needs: water, food, shelter. You need to have some kind of electricity. Then you need education. Then you need medical. If you don't have those basic needs, if the kid is not fed, you can't teach him.
Correct.
He's going to be thinking of food. So we created this ecosystem. We opened the water pumps and all that. And the way also I did it, we called it GOAT Project for women. I give you 10 goats, and Haitian goats, the reproductive cycle is 9 months. So in 9 months, she has 4 little goats. So I gave you 10 goats, and whatever goats she had, it's yours. You gave me back my goats. Or I'll take the goat that whatever she had. So it's basically like giving loans, business loans, like in the form of goats, not of money. And that goat goes to another girl and another girl. So it was very successful too.
Very interesting. Very interesting. But on that note, Shahnoz, I just want to say what a fascinating conversation this has been with you. I'm just so amazed at how you have blended modern medicine, which is what you have been trained in, with holistic medicine, with technology through Marga. I'm sure people will benefit a lot when they go to Rustamova AI and, suddenly start to see Shahnoz speaking to them in not just one language, but in multiple languages. Thank you for speaking to me about so many different aspects of holistic health, about anti-aging, and finally about your nonprofit, You Are the Angel. Thank you for speaking to me, and good luck to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to the Brand Called You videocast and podcast, a platform that brings you knowledge, experience, and wisdom of hundreds of successful individuals from around the world. Do visit our website www.tbcy.in to watch and listen to the stories of many more individuals. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for the Brand Called You.